here first. I know I have been not delivering the videos which I have promised you about on the AppRed series which we are going to do. The thing is that actually I've been busy with some of my work of the office related, and actually I'm shifting my job, as you can say, and changing my time zones. So that's the only reason that I'm not able to work on the videos, and actually been busy a couple of past weeks so much that I didn't get much time to make such videos. So let's get started. Actually this current video is actually very different from what we have built so far, what we have learned so far. In this particular video, what we are going to do is that uh, we are going to change the app icons by writing the native Kotlin code in the Flutter application without even touching anything in the code. Basically, like, it will automatically get changed by the range of that particular date. So let's get started with that. So I'm gonna do one thing. I'm gonna create a new folder. So I'll write this, let's say amkdir, means I'm gonna create a new directory. Let's say I'm gonna see change icon or something, and cd change icon. Or let me do one thing. Rather than going that, I'll just do one thing: finder change icon and open with VS Code. Perfect. Now Flutter create dot. Okay. So yeah, for this is only being supported for the Android phones only. To change your app icons dynamically for the iOS thing, what you can do, you can go to the Chrome and search for pub.dev and search for dynamic app icon or something, Flutter dynamic app icon, or whatever package you can use. Actually you can use Flutter dynamic app icon. It will work fine for the iOS thing. Like, I have not tested it for the iOS, but I have tested it for the Android and it doesn't work for the Android. So I've been working on this particular thing for like past 1 to 2 weeks, how I can resolve that. So, and I've checked, and like I've worked with multiple packages which is currently present in front of you, and those just doesn't work like how they should work. It doesn't work. Maybe there is some problem at my end, like I'm not able to configure them correctly or what else. So let's not waste any time in that, and let's deep dive. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete my iOS folder, because we are not going to require iOS, we are not going to require Linux, Mac OS, test, web and Windows. We are only going to work for Android. So now we have in the app src main res drawable. I think, yep, it has a launcher icon. Now what I'm going to do, I want a icon which I wanted to display, right? So let me do one thing. Let me just search for an icon, or let's say a demo icon. Let's say a demo icon or something. It's images. Let's pick this. Save images, demo or something. Okay. Yep, demo.jpg. That's perfectly fine. Now I'm gonna do one thing. Flutter app icon or something. Like, I do not remember a particular website which do its job, so I'm gonna do this. Yep, appicon.co. Now we want only for Android. File name is, let's say, new year new year.png year.png or something. And here let me just go downloads and demo.jpg. That's it. Now it will generate, and now we have the app icons of that. Perfectly fine. That's good. Now let's do one thing. Let's import all those things. Okay, that's great. Go to downloads, app icon.jpg. Very good. Now we only want Android. Yep, Android. Go to Android, and let me do one thing. Just 3644, no problem. Let's see. Yep, we have the demo app icon. Very good. Now let me do one thing. Let me open another instance of Finder, new Finder window. Go to developer, change icon, Android, app, src main res. Yep, now here at the map HD, and what I do, I to just copy and paste those things. Before do that, what you have to do, we have to change the app icon name. Okay, so the app icon name that you have to change is that whatever you wanted it to name, and do make sure before changing the name that the app icon name, let's say I'm going to write New Year, and New Year should be constant New Year. Just copy the name. Okay, I'm going to copy the name and just drag and drop. Let me do one thing, let me just do that process real fast and we'll get back then. Okay, so we have imported our code, we have imported our icons which we are going to require for this particular tutorial. Now let's jump back to the Kotlin thing which we are going to write in this thing. So I'm going to close the rest folder and Kotlin. We have the main activity file here, and now we'll do one thing, we'll create another file which is the name of icon manager, manager.kt. Make sure that it is a Kotlin file, and so let's do one thing. What I want is the package name, so I'm gonna copy the package name because package name is actually very important. So for that I'm gonna need some imports such as android.content.component component name. Very good. I'm gonna need the context. I'm gonna need some more imports. Let me do one thing, let me just write what are the things that I'm going to require, and actually it is not that much good. util.calendar. The only reason why I'm going to import a calendar is because what I want is that only on the new year the icon should look, but on rest of the other days it should not look, it should not be visible to any other users. So I'm going to create a class icon manager, and do not worry about this whole code. It is being given by me, the Copilot, which we are not going to use anyway. It is required private value context. It is actually a kind of a boilerplate or code or something. Okay. Here what we are going to need is that we are going to need a default icon, and we are going to need a new year icon, you can say. So what I have private value default icon is equals to component name. In this component name I'll write context comma com dot your this package example dot main activity. This will be our default icon. Okay, now we will create another activity for the new year thing. Private val, let's say Christmas, or not the Christmas, as a new year icon or something. Okay, okay, component name. Okay, that's good, I want that. So let me do one thing, let me write this code because it is actually quite a very big file and writing every single code is kind of very hard for me to explain. Let me do one thing, let me just write all bunch of code and then we'll get back. Okay, so our application is built now. Actually I forget to press record, and I was actually blabbering for like 15-20 minutes explaining those things. So let me explain you again. Let's first see how the demo works. I have created a very simple application which is a generic Flutter application. Now now what I'll do, I'll just change the date, let's say till not the January 1st, I'll just, let's say 4th of November, or let's say December 24. Now to change the app icon, what you have to do, you have to just open the application, just wait for a while, it should close itself. Okay, let me do one thing, let me just close the application once and open the app. Just give it a moment, the app icon is changed now. What I currently did is that if you see in our code that what happened, it is calling, we are calling our function on update on the onCreate, like override function on the onCreate method. Just for the sake I have used onCreate, but there are other activities which we are going to look further in after a couple of minutes. Now, before jumping on this methods, let's first understand what our code is doing. If you see at the icon manager.kt file, I have imported a couple of dependencies which is quite required to perform that. Here I have created an object which is called default icon, which is getting a component of context, which is main activity new here. And I'm just doing some logic such as calendar. I'm getting the instance of calendar, and I'm getting the instance of new year period, like it is if it is a new year or not. And then I'm just logging that what is the current date or whatever it is. I'm just printing it basically, and I'm just creating a PM if it is a new year period, means it is from 1st January till 5th of January. Then I'll just set the component enable state to this, and do not kill the application. And to disable the default icon, I'm just passing it to default icon, else this bunch of some generic code. Now here is the function is in new year period, which what basically do it we have to pass a calendar, and it will return a boolean. We'll first get a month, and we first get a day, like day of the month basically, and we will check that if it is January month 1 and the day is between 1 and 5, and if it is in this particular date, then it will return true, else it will return false. And here we are just setting up our icon. Now before just go ahead, I wanted to just show you something that we have changed not couple of things. We've changed the PNGs which you see, like as you can see app icons. To add more, or let's say you can to add more, what you have to do, always remember that whenever you are adding more icons, the icon name should start from IC launcher, and then you can do that. Here I have added activity alias, which is basically, okay, forget the Christmas icon alias. Actually I have tried in testing it for the Christmas icon. Just for this thing I wanted to just test it out, so right now it is for the Christmas. You can just change it for the new year icon. Let's say this. Here at the Android name will be main activity new year. This name should be equal to this. As you can see main activity new year is this main activity new year. Enabled, you have to by default do not enable it, it will be false. Your main activity will be true. Exported yes, and icon name should be map IC launcher. Let's say you wanted to add a Republic icon, or let's say any other icons. What you have to do, go to the app icons and create a new icon, and here create a new file which name would be IC launcher. So the name of the new file could be like this. It would be like this. Let's say if you wanted to add a new file, then the name of that particular file will be IC launcher. Let's say I wanted to add for the Christmas or something, so I'll just say Christmas. Let's say Christmas .png or something, and let's say you can do remember that IC launcher is quite mandatory to add. This file will be available on the GitHub, just don't worry about that. Let's just stick to this AndroidManifest file and just add those things. You have added the target activity would be the main activity, intent would be like this, and boom, that's it. And that's basically it for, like, this is how you can change the application icon natively without writing even a single line of Dart code. Like in the main.dart, I have not changed anything, I have not written anything. It is just a generic Dart boilerplate code which they provide us. That's probably it. And let's now see what are the activities we get, methods we get in the main activity, or you can say Flutter activity. Flutter on create, what are the, like, I do remember there is something called on resume or something. What are the other methods rather than on create in Android or Kotlin or something? Do remember. See, we have on start, on resume, on pause, on stop, and on restart. You can rather than including it on the on create, you can include it on the on start, on resume, whichever activity you wanted to add. But for now I've added it on the on create purpose. Now there is one thing which I would like to highlight before we move further, that Flutter has changed its engine from Skia to Impeller. I have tried to run the same code in the Impeller, you know, engine, but there is some problem while building the application or just running the application. So for the sake it to run, what I did is that I'm running it on the Skia engine and it is running smooth. What I'll do, I'll just create an issue on the official GitHub repo of Flutter that they should basically investigate it further. I've tried to run it on the Impeller, but it is not running. So to run your application, just do one thing: run it using the no enable impeller. Maybe in future update they'll just fix that issue basically. So yeah, that's probably it for this tutorial. It is actually quite late here. So, and this is actually quite a good approach to just solve this particular issue of changing the app icons. You can basically add new icons and without even looking into the Dart code. Basically the here we are not using any method channels or anything. I do not want to complicate this type of thing for that. So you can always use method channel to just the only reason why you wanted to use method channels is that, let's say you wanted it that okay, on the day one you get a list of what will happen if you use method channels. Like how it should work is that, let's say there would be a list of icons. Let's say this is an app icon, which, let's say this is a subscription model. So at the here, let's say if they purchase a new subscription, you wanted to change the app icons. So you just say that okay, this is your app icon, you have got the subscription, you can just click it here and the app icon will change. That's good. This because the UI will be rendered on the Dart, like using the Dart Flutter, and using the method channels you can change the UI using the native code. So for that, let's say if I wanted to make it using method channel, I'll try to make it using method channels if it is possible. Like it is possible to use it using the method channels, but if I actually did it using the method channels, I'll just post it. I'll just create a new branch which will have the same code, but it will include the method channel thing. Like you can what I'll do, I'll just have the same UI and where they can select the particular icons which they wanted using the method channels. So that's probably it for this particular video, and that was the feature scope of what we can do. I have a very simple activity for you. Do one thing: fork this GitHub repository and try to add a new icon. Let's say I do not like this Flutter icon. I do love Flutter. I do not like this Flutter icon. Try to create a PR and change it to something interesting. So that's your activity, and that's it for this video. And keep learning, keep exploring, and Happy New Year once again. And right now I'm not it is an important announcement from my side, is that I'm not charging you anything for this course or for this video, but if you want, you can buy me a coffee. You can get the link in the description. So yeah, that's probably it. I'll add more features, or you can say more links to the buy me a coffee thing, but that's probably it for today. And you can check out this particular awesome thing on the blog which I'll make when I get time. I'm quite actually busy, quite running busy right now. So when I get time, I'll just do that thing. And yeah, that's probably it for this video. Keep learning, keep exploring, and do let me know in the comment section if you found any issues and anything from my previous video or this video. And my LinkedIn is always open if anyone want any help in anything, let's say in Flutter or Swift, or right now I'm also learning Next.js, so you can also ask me there. Bye bye.